Let's talk about Indiana Notre Dame, the first playoff game that we'll be seeing this year in this new format. We'll have four games this weekend. This one will be on Friday, and the winner of this one gets the right to face. Who do they get to face?
Georgia. Look at me, dude.
Georgia.
My bracket.
Georgia, the two seed. Oh, that's right. You do have the bracket behind you. They do get to face Georgia, which I don't know if that's a great thing. Maybe if well, we don't really know. We don't know what their quarterback situation is. We don't know if they'd even rather have Carson Beck. But anyways, on this game, Heisman vote getter Curtis Rourke at quarterback. Indiana, who lost one game all year, and that was to Ohio State. And I'm sure they have a chip on their shoulder. We already know Kurt Signetti likes to get the guys fired up. And then Notre Dame, who Marcus Freeman, I think I saw signed an extension with them after a you know flirting with the Chicago Bears, which is just a college football coach go to when they want to raise. Um, and yeah, I mean Notre Dame, team that you definitely didn't believe in. I
Mhm.
had making the playoff, but not as a contender or anything. And for me, I already know who I'm picking. I mean, I think I know who you're picking. I think everyone knows who we're picking because we have to go with Indiana.
We have to.
Um, have to. Yeah, I guess. Well, what do you think? I mean, we're going with Indiana. How do you think it's going to play out, though?
Look, Notre Dame is unfortunately a more whole and proven football team. This is true. However, and I've said
Listen,
this
they held
time,
down Blake Horvath.
time and time and time again. College football is about emotion,
Hmm.
right? And it's about who is leading you. I am a Kurt Signetti fan. And I have said this too. You learn more from your mistakes than you do from your victories. Notre Dame has not been exposed. Now, there's two ways you could take that. One, you could say Notre Dame doesn't have any weaknesses. Maybe. Or or Notre Dame hasn't faced a team that has been able to expose them yet.
Except NIU. Shout out.
NIU, who did they thing. However, Indiana, they had that brutal loss to Ohio State, which was all self-inflicted wounds. And I said, and we've talked about, that might have been the best thing that could have happened to them because then they didn't play in the conference championship game. They didn't have a chance to get kicked out of the playoff in the first place. There's a whole lot of things that can, but at least Indiana saw in that game, wow, we need to be better about our pass protection. Okay, we need to info. Their defense played pretty well, but the offense, we need to be better in pass protection. We need to be able to run the ball better. We need to be able to not have miscues on fourth down and special teams. We can't give them easy points. The special teams killed them last time. And if you don't think that Kurt Signetti is hammering that in the weeks leading up to this game, you're dead wrong. They didn't play last week in the Big Ten championship game. That's huge, huge. Now I know Notre Dame didn't play either, but still, it gives them that break. This is the game. I think that this is the game in the whole bracket that probably, in my opinion, has the highest percentage of being an upset. Now you could say Tennessee, Ohio State. You could say even SMU. Like you could say all of these games, right? They're all good teams. They're on the playoff for a reason. However, I think Indiana has a chance, a legitimate chance, to go into South Bend, which is not really that big of a deal, in my opinion. Go into South Bend, and pull this off. However, wouldn't be surprised if Notre Dame says, nope, we're a more whole team. We're going to run the ball. We're going to get it through. We're going to score. We have an experienced quarterback. Blah, 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 blah. I, Notre Dame winning would not surprise me, but I do think that Indiana will find a way. And if they do end up losing to Notre Dame, I know this game will be close. That's my take on it.
I agree. I don't think it's a blowout either way. Well, if anyone's blowing anyone out in this game, I think it's Indiana over Notre Dame, actually. I don't think Notre Dame's going to blow out Indiana. I agree. Listen, Indiana, like you said, they didn't play in a conference championship game. Their last game was November 30th. Curtis Rourke threw six touchdowns in a 66 nothing pummeling of Purdue, which is, if you beat Purdue, it's always a good sign if
Oh,
you're a Big Ten team because they will get you. Um, although maybe it means Indiana isn't they generally get the good teams, so maybe that's like if you're really thinking about it, could be a bad thing for Indiana. Anyways, though, they played awesome. 66 nothing. Curtis Works, six touchdowns. they're riding high off that game. I'm sure. I'm sure they're watching film of that and they feel good about it and they feel good about their plan against Notre Dame. Um, and there's just something. There's just something about Notre Dame that I'm not going to pick them. Like I don't feel good about them in these spots. And if they win, I'm not going to pick them against Georgia because I like it. It just feels obvious that they lose that game. And so I just think that game's gonna happen a week early, and it's gonna happen to Indiana, who I've believed in all season long. And like you said, a lot of the Ohio State game was self-inflicted, and obviously credit to Ohio State. Um, Sometimes the other team has something to do with those self-inflicted wounds and mistakes, but I just don't think it's gonna happen again. I think they got I think they got a bit too high for Ohio State, a bit too up, a bit too excited. And Kurt seeing that he was, talking and running his mouth and all that. And that's good. That's good energy. I think that's a team that needs that energy. It's a school that needs that type of energy. But I think it's going to be a more focused energy for Notre Dame because they know it's win or go home. And so I like their odds. I like the culture. I like the infrastructure of this Indiana team compared to a Notre Dame team, that's fine. Like it's fine. It's a good team. They've done their job. They've gone here, but they lost to NIU, and I'm not just gonna forget that. And I think that Indiana will give them their second loss. So
Very interesting. I'm
what's the spread
excited.
on this game? What's the spread on
I'm
this game?
excited. That'll be a good game. It will be a
It
good game.
should.
It'll be
I
tough.
hope so.
I think it'll be a close one. I think it'll be neck and neck.
I
But
hope so. I mean, I feel like all these games will be good. Tennessee, Ohio State should be awesome.
that should
Hopefully.
be amazing.
But the odds on this game are the spread. Oh, okay. 7.5. 7.5. I think, yeah. I mean, obviously taking Indiana there plus 7.5, but I think they're gonna win. But yeah, 7.5. I don't know. That feels a bit much, but
7.5 is a lot.
it's a lot.
It's a
That's a
lot.
lot. Anyways, that should be fun. We'll find out what happens Friday. And we'll talk about the rest of these playoff games on Friday's episode. So that's what we talk about this one now.